Is one of your 2023 goals to build your brand and grow your audience? If that's what you're focusing on this year, you're gonna have to get really good at creating consistent content. Yes, you're gonna have to create content this year. And if you're sitting here shaking your head yes, and you're like, Jen, yes, I know I need to create content, but sometimes I just don't feel confident enough to put myself on camera, or sometimes I don't know what to post, or I don't know how to create videos, or I don't know if I should do YouTube or TikTok or Instagram or Facebook, and I'm just so overwhelmed with all the options and I just don't even know where to start. If that is you, you're in luck because you're listening to the right person. Last year in 2022, I made my word of the year content. My whole goal was to learn as much as I possibly could about content creation and create as much content as I could in order to grow and build my audience. And that is exactly what I did. And throughout the year, I learned a lot about content creation. I learned a lot about what works, what doesn't work, and I collected a hell of a lot of tools along the way to help me grow my audience. And not only am I now growing 1,000 followers a day, but I also have a couple of reels that have reached over 2.5 million views. So if you want to learn all of my do's and don'ts, or what I like to call my laws of content creation, you're in luck because I have a free guide that I made just for you. It's Jen's 10 Laws of Content Creation, and it's totally free. Just go to 10lawsofcontentcreation.com. I'm also going to put it in the show notes, but the number 10, lawsofcontentcreation.com, and you can get my completely free guide to all of my laws about how to create epic content so that you can build your audience and skyrocket your brand in 2023 and beyond. So go download it. I dare you. You don't necessarily need to believe in yourself 100% or feel 100% ready or 100% confident because, let's be real, we're never really 100% ready or 100% confident or 100% in. You just need to believe a little bit more than you don't. You just need to feel a little bit more confident that you don't so that you can take action on that first action step.
What if today was the day that you dared yourself to do what you've always wanted? Welcome to the I Dare You podcast. I'm your host, Jen Gottlieb, and together we're going to step outside of our comfort zones and into our best lives, one dare at a time. So come on, I dare you to dive right on in.
Hello, family. What's up? Welcome back to another episode of the I Dare You podcast. It's Jen, your host, and today's episode is all about on-camera confidence. You know, I create these episodes based on the questions you guys ask me, and there's been several questions this week on my Get Ready With Me lives all around on-camera confidence. And so I figured I'd do an entire episode for you on this so that you all can be seen and be a little bit more confident while doing it. Now, I'm not going to tell you that these tips that I'm going to give you are going to make you all of a sudden be an Academy Award winning actor or be 100% confident on camera every single time you do it, because I hate to break it to you, even someone like myself who's on camera every single day, which now I am on camera every single day, I still get nervous. I still am not 100% confident, but I can tell you that the tips that I'm about to give you are the exact tools that I use to be able to get on camera and feel a little bit more confident than not. And that's all you really need. We talk about this a lot, the 51% rule. You don't necessarily need to believe in yourself 100% or feel 100% ready or 100% confident because, let's be real, we're never really 100% ready or 100% confident or 100% in. You just need to believe a little bit more than you don't. You just need to feel a little bit more confident that you don't so that you can take action on that first action step. And when you take that first action step, and you do the damn thing you're scared of, you get a little bit more confident each time. So here we go. Without further ado, we're going to get right into it. So the camera, to most of us, feels like this evil little machine that all of a sudden, once it's pointed at us, we forget everything that we planned on saying. Like, this is the beginning of my acting career. I was a theater actress. I was trained in theater. I'd done a lot of on-camera stuff, but when I really started doing more on-camera work, when I got onto that metal show and I started having to be on camera every single day, I started to realize just how uncomfortable the camera made me feel. And it was crazy because I had no problem performing in front of an audience of live people, hundreds, sometimes thousands of people in front of me. But when this little silly camera, this little piece of technology, whenever it was pointed at me, all of a sudden I would forget what I had to say. I felt like a crazy person. I couldn't concentrate and the words wouldn't come out of my mouth. Sometimes I even feel like that with a microphone. I like even like recording this podcast. I'm like, oh, I could talk about this all day. But then when you put this silly little piece of equipment in front of me, I just all of a sudden freeze up. So if you're like me at all and the camera makes you nervous and it makes you feel like you all of a sudden can't remember what you had to say, then you're going to love these tips that I'm about to give you, because these have all helped me so much to be able to communicate everything that I want to say on camera in a way that feels real and authentic and easy and not as scary. So my first tip, number one, for on-camera confidence is to get camera ready. And when I say get camera ready, you're like thinking, okay, Jen, wow, that's not rocket science. Get camera ready. Okay. Yeah. Get camera ready physically and emotionally. So we don't just want to go from couch to marathon. We don't just want to go from like hanging out in couch mode or just chill mode to all of a sudden being camera mode. Because when you get in front of the camera, you need to have a little bit more energy than you would if you weren't in front of the camera. And you need to change your physical state in order to do that. So what I like to do is a pre-show ritual before I go onto any camera. And for me, this could be anything for you. For me, it's usually moving my body in some way, shape, or form. A lot of the times it's dancing. And you might be thinking, Jen, I don't want to dance. I don't dance. Well, maybe you don't dance, but I guarantee you that you listen to music. And if you have a song that really pumps you up and gets you into a more confident, more energized mood, I want you to pop in those headphones and listen to that song before you do anything on camera. It will legitimately change your state. It will. Music has this unbelievably powerful, like, superpower of being able to shift your mood. There's got to be science behind it. Somebody Google this and tell me why music can change the way that you feel and the way that you think. Because I could be in a terrible mood and then go for a walk outside and put on my favorite song, and suddenly I feel like I'm on top of the world. So I learned this when I was on the road, when I was touring with The Wedding Singer, when I was doing my Broadway national tour. And I always had a pre-show ritual before I would go on stage. And it always involved listening to very specific songs, because I knew that those songs would get me into peak state. They'd make me feel confident. They'd make me feel energized. And then I'd dance it out. Me and my friend who shared a dressing room together, we would do pre-show dance parties and we would dance it out, and it would always help get rid of our nerves. So when I say get camera ready, I mean physically get camera ready, meaning dance it out, move your body, go for a walk, put on a song that pumps you up. Really take the time to be intentional before you get onto camera. If you are not a seasoned performer that has a lot of practice being on camera every single day, and being on camera still makes you nervous, you need to prepare for it. Get ready for it. Don't treat it like it's a nothing thing. Treat it like it's a moment. It's an experience, and you're going to warm up for it just like you would warm up to do a workout, or you would warm up to go play a sport. Warm up to be on camera. Put on a song that pumps you up. Do a little movement. Dance around the room. Get into a state, a physical state and emotional state. You initiate the emotional state by doing some physical activity that makes you feel more confident, more in control, like you're having fun, more loose. Loosen it up, loosen up your body. Don't be like, because if we just go from sitting to go being on camera, we feel very stiff. We feel like it's not flowing. And the best way to flow the energy out and through your body and through your brain and through your mouth and your face and everything and through your whole entire system of your body is to move the energy, move a muscle, move a thought. And if you go from jumping around and dancing or moving or walking or listening to a song that pumps you up, and then you go right to the camera, you're going to bring that energy with you. And you're going to feel a little bit more confident. It's going to feel a little bit easier, and you're not going to have as many nerves. So the second part of being camera ready is by zhuzhing yourself up a little bit. And what do I mean by that? Go do your, ladies, put a little bit of lipstick on, put on a top that you love. Even if you aren't showing your shoes, put on a pair of shoes that make you feel really empowered and sexy and cool. Put on a cool shirt, do your hair. Get yourself camera ready. I know for certain that I feel more confident on camera when I have my makeup on, when I have my hair done. And it doesn't necessarily mean you have to do a full face of makeup if that's not your thing. If you don't wear any makeup, that's cool. What is a shirt or an outfit or any kind of a look that you do that makes you feel confident and like you've got lots of swagger? That's part of your getting camera ready first step. Okay, so you're going to get physically ready, emotionally ready. You're going to be prepared. Then my next tip for you is my Know a Secret tool. Now, this I learned when I was auditioning as an actress. An acting teacher taught this to me, and it helped me land a lot more of my auditions than I did prior to knowing this. And it's really, really simple, and it's actually a fun game that you can play. So this tool that I'm about to teach you is not only something that'll make you feel more confident on camera when you're doing video, but it'll also make you feel more confident when you're taking photos, and it'll make your photos a lot more engaging. So no more dead eyes in photos after you know this tool. Okay, this is the I Know a Secret tool. And what I want you to do is before you go on camera or before you go do a photo shoot, I want you to think of a secret that you know that nobody else knows. The camera doesn't know it. Maybe it's just you and the camera. It's between you, or nobody that's watching the video or looking at the photo is ever going to know the secret. I want you to think about it. And it's got to be like a juicy secret that you can't tell anybody. Now, what happens when you think about that secret is all of a sudden your face changes. When you know a secret that nobody else does, you're like a little bit more intriguing. All of a sudden, your face lights up in a different way. You feel a little bit more confident. You stand a little bit taller. I would go into auditions knowing a secret that I knew nobody else in the room knew, and I just looked a little bit more mysterious. I felt more empowered too, because I was like, I know something you don't know. And it could be a dirty secret. It could be a funny secret. It could just be an interesting secret, but it makes you feel more empowered. Know a secret before you go on camera, before you go into a room where you're being interviewed, before you go into an audition, before you take a photo. And if you're doing a photo shoot and you're thinking about a secret, it'll make your eyes look more alive. It'll make you look like you've got something behind your eyes and you're actually thinking about something. So when someone looks at your photo, it looks more intriguing, more interesting, like they want to know you instead of you just like standing there posing for a photo. So that's the I Know a Secret trick. It's going to change the way that you think about yourself. It's also going to change the way that people perceive you when they see you on camera. Then last but not least, my third tip for you is to envision that you are talking to a friend when you're being recorded. Now, the reason that we do this is because think about it. If you were sitting at a coffee shop with a best friend or your spouse or your partner or your kid or someone that you're really comfortable about, and they were asking you questions, you wouldn't forget the words, you wouldn't get nervous, you wouldn't be like discombobulated. You wouldn't space out or blank out like we do when we get on camera. You would know exactly what to say, and it would come out free flowing, and it would come out authentically like it was just you. It would be easy, right? Yeah, because there's no camera on you. You're just talking to somebody that you love. So what I want you to do every time you go on camera, whether it's for an Instagram live or a Facebook live, or you're recording some video content, or you're recording an ad for your company, or you're doing a Zoom call, and you don't necessarily know the person on the other end, envision that the person on the other end or the person that's inside of the lens is someone you're super comfortable around and you're just having a conversation with them. If you're giving some information on an Instagram live or a Facebook live, envision that you're talking to a client or a customer that you would be giving that information to, someone that you're super comfortable around. Or if you are doing an interview and you don't know the person interviewing you, envision that that person is your best friend. And actually think about their face when you're talking to them. Replace that person's face with the face of your best friend or your partner or your kid or whoever it is you're envisioning that you're super comfortable around. You can even go as far as to take a photo of that person and put it up next to your camera. I used to do that when I was doing media interviews a lot. I would take a picture of my husband and I would put it, he was my fiance at the time, I would put it right next to the camera and I would envision that I was talking to him when the anchors were interviewing me. And it would make my interviews come off so much more authentic and real and easy and fun. And when I would watch those interviews back, when I was talking to a picture of my husband, it was like, oh, that's Jen. Okay, that's me. That really felt confident. That felt more free flowing. I want to know that girl. And they were much better interviews. And I felt more confident. I didn't feel scared because I'm not scared when I'm talking to my husband. It gets scary when I feel like I'm talking to somebody that's judging me or when I'm talking to a little black circle that is like a weird contraption that's videoing me, right? So those are my 3 tips for you. If you start practicing those 3 tips before you go on camera at all, you will be more confident. But really the key to creating more on-camera confidence or confidence in general is to consistently practice, consistently do the thing that you're uncomfortable to do. And step by step, every single time you do it, you're going to get a little bit better. The way that I practice doing this is I actually do an Instagram live every single day. I do one while I'm getting ready for the day. So I can't make an excuse. I can't get out of it because I get ready for the day every day, no matter what. So while I'm doing my makeup, I do an Instagram live. I do this to practice being uncomfortable. I do this to practice going live on Instagram and talking to a camera because I know every single time I do that, I become a little bit more confident. And now going live doesn't feel hard anymore. It doesn't feel scary because I do it every single day. And I've proven to myself that nothing bad happens to me if I mess up. Nothing bad happens to me after I'm done. In fact, it feels very fulfilling and it always energizes me. So you take away fear's power the more that you do it. So my dare for you today is to practice being on camera and using these tools. So go for a walk around the block listening to your favorite song, do a little dance party in your room, then get camera ready, do your hair, do your makeup, like look the part and look in a way that makes you feel super jazzed and super badass and super confident and super sexy. And then know your secret, tell yourself a secret that nobody else knows, press record and envision that you're talking to a bestie or your spouse or your kid or a client that you're really comfortable around. You will be so much more confident on camera, and consistently do that and consistently practice, and you will get absolutely amazing. Nowadays, we need to be good on camera. Everything's done on camera. Zoom is done on camera. So even if you're not a content creator, you're going to be on Zoom. So you want to come off really confident when you're talking to people on Zoom, and you want to be able to have these tools so that you can be seen as the best version of yourself. It's unbelievably important, not just for the person you're talking to perceive you as the best version of yourself, but for you to feel good about you whenever you go on camera. So you don't get off feeling like, ugh, who was I? Ugh, that felt yucky. That felt gross. I want you to feel in flow. I want you to feel confident. And I want you to have the tools to do that. So use these tips, practice, 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 and you will be better on camera. That, my friends, is my tips. And I do these every single day. So I'm never going to tell you anything that I don't actually personally do to get better at my craft. And I hope you take these and you do them and you get great on camera. Tag me in all your videos. I want to see. Share this episode with a friend and go practice these 3 tips and be seen. I dare you, my friend. Love you so much. So grateful for you. And I will see you next time on the I Dare You podcast.
Thank you so much for tuning into this episode of the I Dare You podcast. I'm so grateful you chose to spend this time with me, but I'm even more grateful for your future self that you are building one dare at a time. So my first dare for you is to subscribe to the show and then share it with a friend who you think needs to step a little bit more outside their comfort zone and into their best lives. They'll thank you for it. I'll see you next time on the I Dare You podcast.